Yeah, it's never actually dark here, but the light just makes you feel even more alone.
Trapped inside the glow of the heavy midnight scream, wishing I was walking through the endless miles of green. Towers made of iron blocking out the morning sun, wondering what I'm chasing and what I have actually done. I can still remember how the flooded paddock shined back before I left the open, quiet world behind. Missing how the water used to mute the sky. Now I'm watching thousands of umbrellas rushing by. Every single footstep gets swallowed by the streets, surrounded by the millions that I'm never gonna meet. Let the deep bass rattle, let the piano play, drowning in the glow of the heavy city gray. Billions of windows, but I cannot find a friend. Just a lonely woman waiting for the dark to end. Yeah, yeah, waiting for the dark to end.
Sirens in the distance echoing against the wall, living in a metropolis but feeling incredibly small. Remembering the harvest and the mud upon my feet. Now it's only pavement and a bitter kind of sweet.
Flashing signs are buzzing like a hornet in the night, blinding out the beauty of the natural fading light. Ain't no need for crying tears, just dry up in the cold. Living in a brand new world but feeling tired and old. Let the deep sub bass carry all the hurt afar. Just a fragile wanderer looking for a missing star. So let the deep bass rattle, let the piano play, drowning in the glow of the heavy city gray. Millions of windows, but I cannot find a friend. Just a lonely woman waiting for the dark to end. Yeah, waiting for the dark to end.
Take a deep breath for the ozone and the dust, holding on to memories of quiet and of trust.
It's an isolating silence, heavy and profound, longing for the quiet of the open muddy ground. You let the skyline wash away. Just the moody piano now, just the heavy vibe, lost in the glow, just fading trapped inside the glow. It's never actually dark here. It's never actually dark here.
They promised a city of gold, but all I see is miles and miles of gray.
Concrete walls rising up so steep, living in the tower where the shadows creep. Hearing the distant city sirens wail, feeling like a ghost was completely pale. Traded the open sky for a crowded street, missing the warm dirt beneath my bare feet. Every single footstep heavy on a stone, surrounded by the millions but sitting here alone, looking at a picture of the life I left behind. Trying to find a quiet space inside my heavy mind. Let the deep bass rattle, piano play, drowning in an ocean of the heavy city gray, wishing for the green where the quiet waters lean. Just a lonely woman holding on to a rude dream, yeah. Holding on to the dream.
She stands up and walks to the window, pressing her hand against the cold glass. A reflection of the buzzing red neon sign outside bleeds over her face.
Neon signs flashing right through the blind, leaving the quiet of the country behind. Remembering the wind through the tall green stalks. Now I just hear the heavy rush in the city walks. Puddles on the pavement flashing in the night. Nothing like the beauty of the early morning light. Ain't no need for crying, nobody's gone to see. Just the heavy exhaust fumes keeping company. Let the deep sub bass carry all the hurt away. Just a fragile silhouette fading into gray. So let the deep bass rattle, let the piano play, drowning in an ocean of the heavy city gray, wishing for the green where the quiet waters bleed. Just a lonely woman holding on to a rude dream, yeah. Holding on to. Take a deep breath of the dust and the chill. Wishing I was walking on a terraced muddy hill. It's an isolating sadness, heavy and profound, longing for the quiet of the open, unpaved ground. Yeah, let the skyline wash away.
Just a moody piano now.
Just the heavy bass fading into the gray, just fading away.
So many lights out there, but everything still feels so incredibly dark. I'd trade every skyscraper just to see the sun break over the terraces again. Yeah, so many lights out there, but everything still feels so incredibly dark. I'd trade every skyscraper just to see the sun break over the terraces again. Yeah. Slowly resting on the heavy rattling glass, watching all the concrete and the shadows rolling past. Living in a machine that's always breathing out the gray, watching all these sounds till the walls will wash away. I can still remember how the flooded daddy thing, back before this heavy glazed over city took my dream. Missing out on when we're maybe in this goose talks been. Now I'm riding down an avenue that doesn't have an end. Every single star just lets the freezing winter in. Surrounded by the millions, wondering where I can begin. Let the deep bass flare, let the piano take. Try to decide the grid light, wandering through the haze. Millions of faces, but I cannot see a friend. Just a lonely woman aching for the open roof to bed. Yeah, aching for the open roof to bed. Sirens in the distance,
cutting through the heavy air, looking at the strangers who don't even know I'm there. Remembering the harvest and the water reflect the blue. Now it's only dirty puddles catching something new. Towers near the mine, scraping up against the moon, living in a rhythm that is totally looking for a missing star. So let the deep bass wail, let the piano play. Track inside a green light, wandering through the haze. We all years of faces, but I cannot see the face. The lonely woman aching for the open roads of pain. Aching for the open roads of pain.
Take a deep breath of the ozone and the dust, holding on to memories of quiet and of trust. But an isolating salmon's heavy and profound, longing for the quiet of a muddy, unpaved ground.
Let the sky wash away.
Just a moody piano now.
Just a heavy bass, lost in the haze. Just fading
So many lights out there, so many lights out there, so many lights out there. Yeah. They spend their whole lives looking for me in the deep woods. They never thought to look in the subway.
thick coat pulled tight against the freezing urban damp. Standing in the flicker of a broken yellow lamp. Pavement feels like iron on the bottom of my feet. Just a heavy wanderer walking down the street, trying to keep my head down, trying not to show my face. Moving like a phantom through this crowded, fragile place. Air smells like the exhaust, nothing like the quiet pine, nothing like the flooded fields I used to claim as mine. Got a wild heart beating underneath this heavy wool, living in a world that feels incredibly too full. Let the deep bass rattle, let the cello play, trying to hide my wildness in the heavy city gray. I'm a myth inside the grid, like a shadow in the rain, washing out my heavy tracks and swallowing the pain. Yeah, just swallowing the pain.
Cameras on the corner blinking with a little red, wishing for the canopy of branches overhead. They catch me in the background of a blurry photograph, just an urban legend walking down a concrete path.
Cameras on the corner blinking with a little red, wishing for the canopy of branches overhead. They catch me in the background of a blurry photograph, just an urban legend walking down a concrete path. Living in the metropolis, but I am not a ghost. I'm the ancient heavy thing that they are fearing most. Ain't no need for roaring, nobody is gonna hear. Just this wheel of subway brakes ringing in my ear. Let the deep soul bass carry all the hurt afar. Just a displaced creature looking for a missing star. So let the deep bass rattle, let the cello play, trying to hide my wildness in the heavy city gray. I'm a myth inside the grid, like a shadow in the rain, washing out my heavy tracks and swallowing the pain. Yeah, just swallowing the pain.
Just a moody cello out, just a heavy bass, leaving no track.
Just fading nowhere. the safety of a distant crackling fire. It's an isolating sadness being older in the street, dreaming of them up beneath my heavy wandering feet. Yeah, let the skyline wash away.
Just a moody cello now.
Just a heavy place,
Leaving no track.
just fading away.
Yeah. Every street looks exactly the same. I'd give anything to be lost in the tall green stalks again.
Trapped inside a labyrinth of concrete and of glass, watching all the hurried nameless strangers walking past, looking for a horizon, but the towers block the way. Breathing in the heavy smog and breathing out the gray. I used to know the pathways through the bloody muddy ground, where the wind across the patties was the only kind of sound. Now my boots are hitting pavement, walking circles in the night, blinded by the flashing of the harsh electric light. Every single corner just leads to another wall. Standing in the center of the city, feeling small. Let the beat bass rattle, let the guitar cry, wandering through the maze, beneath the suffocating sky. Millions of voices, but I cannot hear a sound. Wishing I was walking on the open, unpaved ground. Yeah, the open, unpaved ground.
Take a deep breath of the ozone and the dust. Riding on a rail made of memories and rust. It's an isolating sadness, heavy and profound, longing for the quiet where the roots are buried down.
Yeah, let the skyline wash away.
Yeah. Every street looks exactly the same. I'd give anything to be lost in the tall green stalks again.
Take a deep breath of the ozone and the dust. Riding on a rail made of memories and rust. It's an isolating sadness, heavy and profound, longing for the quiet where the roots are buried down. Yeah, let the skyline wash away. Let the beat bass rattle, let the guitar cry, wandering through the maze, beneath the suffocating sky. Millions of voices, but I cannot hear a sound. Wishing I was walking on the open, unpaved ground. Take a deep bass rattle. Take a deep, deep bass rattle. Take a Shafton Street looks exactly the same. I'd give anything to be lost in the tall breed of stalks again. Every street looks exactly the same. Yeah. Every street looks exactly the same. I'd give anything to
be lost in the tall green stalks again. Cha. I've learned exactly how to walk like them. I know exactly what to say. But the hardest part is pretending I don't remember the taste of the rain on the terraces. Yeah. I've learned exactly how to walk like them. I know exactly what to say. But the hardest part is pretending I don't remember the taste of the rain on the terraces. Button up the collar, hide the heavy thickest hair. Practicing the posture in the vacant city stare. Filing down the edges so I fit inside the mold. Drinking bitter coffee just to weaponize the cold. I remember running heavy on the flooded open ground. Now I'm stepping lightly so I never make a sound. Got a wild, untamed heartbeat that I'm forcing to be slow. Nodding at the strangers that I'm never gonna know. Every single morning is a brand new kind of test. Living as a human doesn't give you time to rest. Let the deep bass rattle, let the synths play. I'm a perfect mimic in the heavy city gray. Swallowing the how to survive another day. Wishing for the muddy fields a million miles away. Yeah, a million miles away. A million miles away. Yeah. Saying all the right words, hitting every single cue. Acting like the skyline is a beautiful view. Hiding all the instinct and the power in my spine. Telling everybody that I'm doing completely fine. But I'm suffocating slowly in this tailored little dress. A monster masquerading in the beacon of success. Ain't no need for roaring, I got nothing left to scare. Just a broken legend, breathing conditioned air. Let the deep sub-bass carry all the truth afar. Just a disguised wanderer looking for a missing star. So let the deep bass rattle, let the synth play. I'm perfect mimic in the heavy city gray. Swallowing the how to survive another day. Wishing for the muddy fields a million miles away. A million miles away. Take a deep breath of the perfume and the light. Smiling at the concrete while I'm looking at the sky. It's an isolating sadness, being completely understood is something you and I, while you're starving for the wood. Yeah, look at the skies wash away. Just a moody, pulsing synth now. Just the slow control drums. Just the moody pulsing synth now. Just the moody pulsing synth now. Just the moody, hey, just the moody pulsing synth now. Just the moody, just the slow, just the moody. Just a perfect mimic, fading away. Yeah, yeah. Button up the collar. Button up the collar, button up the collar, hide the heavy thickest hair. Hey, I button up the collar, I button up the collar, button up the collar, button up the collar, button up the collar.
collar, button up the 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 collar, hide the heavy thickest dirt. Button up the collar. Button up the collar, button up the collar, button up the collar.
Yeah. They poured the concrete so thick here. You can't even feel the earth breathing underneath it anymore.
Walking on a sour road, frozen in the dark, looking for a single green leaf in a painted park. Towers made of iron scraping up the sky, watching all the rushing heavy traffic flying by. I can almost feel the warm mud on my hands, back before I wandered to these heavy paved lanes. Now my boots are hitting miles of heavy stones, surrounded by the millions but completely on my own. Every flashing neon sign is bleeding in the street, trying to find a way to make the bitter taste sweet. Let the deep bass rattle, like a cello cry, severed from my roots beneath the heavy smoggy sky. Millions of voices, but I cannot hear a sound. Wishing I was walking on a flooded open ground. The flooded open ground. Sirens in the distance wrapping tight around my chest, living in a metropolis that never lets you rest. Remembering the harvest and the green stalks standing tall. Now it's only shadows stretching down a concrete wall. Puddles on the crosswalk, catching taxis rolling past. Nothing like the quiet terraces that used to last. Ain't no need for crying tears, just mixing to the gray. Just a lonely silhouette washing down the drain today. Let the deep sub bass carry all the hurt afar. Just a fragile wanderer looking for a missing star. So let the deep bass rattle, let the cello cry, severed from my roots beneath the heavy smarmy sky. Millions of voices, but I cannot hear a sound. Wishing I was walking on the flooded open ground. The flooded open ground. Take a deep breath for the ozone in the dust, riding on a rail made of memories and rust. It's an isolating, sad, it's heavy and profound, longing for the quiet where the roots are buried down. Yeah. Let the skyline wash away, just a mournful cello now, just the heavy bass fade. Poured the concrete so thick here, you can't even feel the earth breathing underneath it anymore. They poured the concrete so thick here. They poured the concrete so thick here. They poured the concrete so thick here. Yeah. They build these towers thinking they conquered the sky, but everything down here just feels so flimsy. Walking through the gridlock, trying not to break the street, keeping all this heavy ancient power totally discreet. Got my shoulders hunched down, hiding in the midnight damp, just a massive shadow underneath the buzzing lamp. Living in the dollhouse made of fragile glass and wire, hiding all the wildness in the heavy breathe of fire. Missing the white terraces and endless fields of green, where I didn't have to shrink to fit inside the scene. Every single footstep leaves a crater in the stone, surrounded by the millions but so massively alone. Like the deep bass rattle, let the acoustic play. Too big for the pavement of the heavy city gray. Walking through a miniature, fragile kind of town, wishing for the muddy fields to hold my footprints down. Yeah, to hold my footprints down. Taxis rolling past me, looking like a child's toy, living in a plastic world that I could just destroy. But I keep my head down, burying the heavy ache, terrified of everything my clumsy hands could break. Remembering the open air that stretched across the sky, where the flooded water mirrored every bird that fluttered by. Ain't no need for crying tears are heavier than rain, just a displaced giant swallowing the urban pain. Let the deep sub bass carry all the truths to far, just an ancient wanderer looking for a missing star. So let the deep bass rally, let the acoustic play. Too big for the pavement or the heavy city gray. Walking through a miniature, fragile kind of town, wishing for the muddy fields to hold my footprints down. Yeah, to hold my footprints down. To hold my footprints down. Ooh, take a deep breath, all the neon in the dust, yearning for the safety of the earth that I can trust. It's an isolating sadness, feeling older than the ground, aching for a wilderness where I am finally unbound. Yeah, let the dawn house wash away. Just a heavy acoustic bass now, just a slow drone. Just a slow drone, just walking yeah. A million eyes on me out here, but none of them actually see me. Yeah. Caught on the camera at the corner of the street, walking to the rhythm of the heavy dragging beat, passing by the windows where the televisions glow. Everybody's watching, but there's nothing that they know. I'm just a passing shadow in the corner of your eye, a trick of the light beneath the heavy orange sky. Got my collar pulled up, trying not to leave a trace, Living in the grid, but I am entirely out of place. They capture my reflection in the puddles in the glass, watching as the legend of the lonely woman pass. So let the deep bass rattle, let the static play. I'm just a blurry sight and fading in the gray, caught inside the lens, but I'm nowhere to be found. An unseen anomaly walking on the ground. Thousands of people standing shoulder to the wall. If I fade away, they wouldn't notice it at all. I'm a rumor in the alley, I'm a whisper in the train, washing out the footprints that I'm leaving in the rain. Living in the center of a heavily washed room, but hiding in the pockets of the digital gloom. Ain't no need for waving, ain't nobody gonna reach. Just a piece of static washed up on the concrete beach. Let the deep sub bass carry all the truth afar. Just an urban myth looking for a missing star. So let the deep bass ride or let the static play. I'm just a blurry sight and fading in the gray, caught inside the lens, but I'm nowhere to be found. An unseen anomaly walking on the ground.
Yeah. You can't even see the stars from up here. Just a ceiling made of smoke and electricity.
Breathing in the exhaust, breathing out the tube, looking at a skyline that is never standing still. Towers made of iron scraping up against the dark, trying to find a memory or just a little spark. I close my eyes and try to smell the rain upon the dirt, wondering how the city life became a kind of hurt. Missing how the morning mist would roll across the green. Now I'm just a shadow in a heavy gray machine. Every single breath I take is tasting like the stone. Millions of people here, but I am entirely alone. Let the deep bass rattle, let the synth play, choking on smoke, girl, the heavy city gray. Millions of windows, but I cannot see a friend. Wishing I was back where the flooded patty's been. Yeah, where the flooded patty's been. Yeah, yeah. Sirens in the distance cutting through the heavy air, looking at the strangers who don't even know I'm there. Remembering the harvest and the water reflecting sky. Now it's only puddles catching taxis rolling by. Neon signs are buzzing like a hornet in the night, blinding out the beauty of the natural fading light. Ain't no need for crying tears to dry up in the cold. Living in a brand new world but feeling tired. No, let the deep sub bass carry all the hurt afar. Just a fragile wanderer looking for a missing star. So let the deep bass rattle, let the synth play, choking on the smoke of the heavy city gray. Millions of windows, but I cannot see a friend. Wishing I was back where the flooded patty's been. Yeah, where the flooded patty's been. Yeah, take a deep breath of the exhaust and the dust, holding
call it $1,000,000 view, but it doesn't hold a candle to the morning sun breaking over the flooded terraces.
Looking down at the grill out from my tower in the sky, watching all the yellow taxis slowly crawling by, glass and steel rising up to black the fading light. Just another lonely stray wander in the night. I press my hand against the pain and try to feel the earth, wondering what this heavy paved over life is worth. Listen to feeling of the warm mud on my skin before this heavy isolating journey could begin. Every flashing neon sign is bleeding in the rain, trying to find a way to wash away the urban pain. Let the deep bass rattle, like the piano play. Trapped inside the city, just a heavy-hearted stray. Millions of windows, but I cannot see a friend. Wishing I was back where the green stalks bend. Yeah, where the green stalks bend.
Sirens in the distance wrapping tight around my chest. Living in a metropolis that never lets you rest.
Sirens in the distance wrapping tight around my chest. Living in a metropolis that never lets you rest. Remembering the harvest and the water reflecting blue. Now it's only puddles catching everything anew. Towers made of iron scraping up against the moon. Living in a rhythm that is totally out of tune. Ain't gon' need for crying tears, just mixing to the gray. Just a lonely silhouette washing down the drain to bed. Let the deep sub bass carry all the hurt afar. Just a fragile wanderer looking for a missing star. So let the deep bass rap, let the piano play. Trapped inside the city, and just a heavy artist stray. Wishing I was back where the green stars bend. Yeah, where the green stars bend.
Take a deep breath of the exhaust and the dust, holding on to memories of quiet and of trust.
Some isolated sadness, heavy amplified, longing for the quiet of the open muddy ground. Let the skyline wash away. Just the moody electric piano now. Just a heavy bass, just a stray wandering
They call it $1,000,000 view, but it doesn't hold a candle to the morning sun breaking over the flooded terraces.
They built these towers so high they scrape the sky. But down here on the pavement, I've never felt so buried. Walking through the shadows of the iron and the glass, watching all the hurried, heavy strangers walking past, looking for a horizon, but the sky now blocks the way. Breathing in the exhaust and breathing out the gray. I can still remember how the flooded terraces gleam back before this heavy concrete city took my dream. Missing how the wind would make the endless green stalks bend. Now I'm walking down an avenue that doesn't have an end. Every single footstep echoes off the heavy stone. Living in a million-person city, completely on my own. Let the deep bass rattle, let the piano play. Trapped inside the gridlock, wishing for us away. Millions of windows, but I cannot see a face. Just a lonely woman aching for an open space. Aching for an open space. Sirens in the distance cutting through the freezing air. Looking at the strangers who don't even know I'm there. Remembering the harvest and the water reflecting blue. Now it's only dirty puddles catching something new. Neon signs are buzzing like a haunted in the night, blinding out the beauty of the natural fading light. Ain't no need for crying tears, just dry up in the cold. Living in a brand new world but feeling tired and old. Let the deep sub-bass carry all the hurt afar. Just a fragile wanderer looking for a missing star. So let the deep bass ride, let the piano play. Drag this like a gridlock, wishing for this way. Billions of windows, but I cannot see your face. Just a lonely woman aching for an open space. Yeah, aching for an open space. Aching for an open space. Yeah. Take a deep breath of the ozone in the dust, holding on to memories of quiet and the trust. It's an isolating sadness, heavy and profound, longing for the quiet of the muddy, unclaimed ground. Yeah, let the skyline wash away. Just a moody piano now, just a heavy bass, waiting for this way. Just fade away. They built these towers so high.
Yeah. They didn't build cages to keep us out. They built them so we'd eventually lock the doors ourselves.
Swiping the plastic card just to get inside a room, trading in the open sky for an air-conditioned tomb. Got my heavy boots laced up, trying to hide the stride, burying the ancient thing they used to live inside. I used to leave massive tracks deep inside the flooded mud. Now the caffeine and the neon are replacing all my blood. Missing how the tall green stalks would hide me from the sun. Now there's nowhere left to hide and nowhere left to run. Pavement making my feet soft, dull in every single sense. Living as a myth behind a heavy iron fence. Let the deep bass rattle, let the synth play, washing all the wildness down the drain into the grave. Terrified of waking up and forgetting my own name. Just an ancient heavy creature that the city may take. Yeah, yeah, that the city may take.
Yeah, they didn't build cages to keep us out. They built them so we eventually lock the doors ourselves. Swiping a plastic card just to get inside a room.
Falling down the edges, keeping all the quiet rules, trading in the mountain rivers for the chlorinated pools. I remember how to howl, but I swallowed down the sound, afraid of what would happen if I shook this fragile ground. Watching all the yellow cabs from the 22nd floor, forgetting what I used to roam the open country for. Ain't no need for roaring, nobody would understand. Just a broken legend in a synthetic foreign land. Let the deep sub-bass carry all the truth afar. Just a domesticated giant looking for a missing star. So let the deep bass rattle, let the synth play, washing all the wildest down the drain into the grave. Terrified of waking up and forgetting my own name. Just an ancient heavy creature that the city may take. Yeah, yeah, that the city may take.
Take a deep breath of the ozone in the dust. forgetting how to navigate by instinct and by trust. It's an isolating sadness, slowly shedding off the past. Know it that the wildness inside wasn't built to last. Just a heavy industrial heartbeat now.
Just a slow drum.
Stares at her own eyes in the mirror, searching for the wild spark that used to be there. You didn't build cages to keep us out. They built them so we'd eventually lock the doors ourselves.
Swiping. Swiping a plastic card, swiping a plastic card, yeah, yeah, yeah. Swiping a plastic card, swiping a plastic card, swiping a plastic card, swiping a plastic card. Yeah. Everything here just spins in circles, but nothing ever actually grows. Watching all the colors blur behind the spinning glass, waiting for the heavy midnight hours just to pass. Fluorescent lights are buzzing like a hornet in my brain, washing out the quiet, washing out the heavy rain. I used to know the rhythm of the water and the earth. Now I'm feeding coins into a slot for what it's worth, living in a cycle that is never gonna end. Walking down an avenue without a single friend. Every single foot is stepped heavy on the polished floor, wondering what I left the quiet flooded terraces for. Let the deep bass rattle, let the cello play, uprooted from the green and planted in the gray. Millions of people, but I cannot hear a sound. Just a lonely woman aching for the unpaved ground. Yeah, aching for the unpaved ground. Aching for the unpaved ground. Sirens bleeding through the glass and echoing inside. Nowhere in this heavy iron labyrinth to hide. Remembering the harvest and the mud upon my feet. Now it's only strangers passing quickly on the street. Neon signs are flashing red across the folding chair, and catching on the teardrops that are falling from my hair. Ain't no need for crying, nobody is gonna see. Just the humming of the washer keeping company. Let the deep sub bass carry all the hurt far. Just a fragile wanderer looking for a missing star. So let the deep bass rattle, let the cello play, uprooted from the green and planted in the rain. Millions of people, but I cannot hear a sound. Just a lonely woman aching for the unpaid ground, aching for the unpaid ground, aching for the unpaid ground. Take a deep breath, lose a soap and a chill. Wishing I was walking on a quiet flooded hill. It's an isolating sadness, heavy and profound. Longing for the places where the roots go deep and down. Yeah, let the skyline wash away. Yeah. Everything here is made of glass and wire, and I just feel so incredibly heavy. Walking through the plaza, trying not to break the floor, feeling like a creature from a different kind of lore. Fluorescent lights are buzzing, trying to catch me in the beam. Wandering through a sterile concrete fever dream. Got a wild heart beating under layers of the wool. Living in the China shop and moving like a bull. Every single footstep leaves a heavy muddy trace. I'm a towering anomaly, taking up the space. Looking at the fragile people rushing down the street, hiding in the alleys where the shadows are complete. Let the deep bass rattle, let the guitar play, trying to hide my heavy tread inside the city gray. I'm too wild for the pavement, too big for the cage. An ancient kind of sorrow on a modern kind of stage. Yeah, a modern kind of stage.
Sirens in the distance sounds exactly like a hound. Keeping my head lowered, keeping eyes upon the ground. Remembering the deep woods and the safety of the pines. Now I'm dodging cameras and the glowing yellow lines. They look at me like something they are trying to define. A monstrous silhouette against a perfect clean design. Ain't no need for crying, tears are just a waste of breath. Walking through a metropolis that feels a bit like death.
Let the deep sub bass carry all the hurt afar. Just a listen, it's the giant looking for a missing star. So let the deep bass rattle, let the guitar play, trying to hide my heavy tread inside the city gray. I'm too wild for the pavement, too big for the cage. An ancient kind of sorrow on a modern kind of stage. Yeah, a modern kind of stage.
Take a deep breath of the exhaust and the fear, knowing that my spirit isn't meant to be in here. It's an isolating sadness, being larger than the room. A creature of the forest, trapped inside it roams home.
Yeah, let the skyline wash away.
Just the moody acoustic guitar now. Just the heavy bass, bass, bass. Leaving no trace,
Just fading away.
take a deep breath of the exhaust.
Take a deep breath of the exhaust and the fear, knowing that my spirit isn't meant to be in here. It's an isolated sadness, being larger than the room. A creature of the forest trapped inside a glowy tomb. Yeah. Let the skyline wash away. Yeah. Everything here is made of glass and wire, and I just feel so incredibly heavy.